Greetings. So just recently, I finished watching the 2023 movie called Asphalt City. It stars the one and only Sean Penn and Ty Sheridan. If we look back at Sean Penn, he's one of the most talented actors. I have to say, he has been missing in action recently. I can't recall the last film I've seen him in. Probably it's Gangster Squad back in 2013. I don't know why is he not appearing in so many movies recently. Of course, he's very well known for some very fantastic films like Mystic River, U-Turn, and so many others. On the other hand, Ty Sheridan is a new, young, upcoming actor. I think he's starred in many recent movies. Probably the highlight of his movies is Ready Player One, which was directed by Steven Spielberg. Asphalt City takes place in New York and follows a rookie paramedic that works for the fire department in New York, which is played by Ty Sheridan. He just started his new job and he is trying to cope with the multiple 911 calls in which he and his colleagues are called to help out in certain emergency situations. Basically, they are the first responders, specifically when it comes to medical emergencies or issues in that regard. He is then paired with the character played by Sean Penn, who is a seasoned paramedic. He's been in the business for more than 20 years, and he's very experienced. And as we go through the movie, they respond to multiple 911 calls with a variety of problems and issues.
To me. They'll die if you don't to me. Go, go, go.
You think these people like you?
Outside with the dog, we're trying to treat them.
Меня смотри.
The movie itself is very grim, it's dark, and I like how it envisions New York the way it does. It's very bleak, very gritty, and I think it does reflect reality. New York is a very well-known, obviously, city. A lot of tourists like to go there, but I think people who live there might relate more to the movie. It's a huge city. There's a lot of pollution, noise pollution, air pollution. It's overcrowded. People are suffering from poverty, and then we have others who are okay, middle class. There's drugs. There's so many issues. Basically, those who work in the paramedics would see plenty of stressful situations, and that's where the movie focuses on. How do those paramedic staff, the first responders, react to these continuous stressors and these things that they've seen? Now, we know in mental health, chronic exposure to stressful situations can lead to an unhealthy mental condition. People react differently to stress, and people who respond to extreme situations like the fire department, the police, the paramedics in this case, are frequently exposed to very difficult situations and quite stressful, and its impact on their psychological well-being can vary. Now, we know in psychiatry we have a number of categories and diseases that are classified and are related to stress. Namely, the most well-known is the post-traumatic stress disorder. There's something which is called also acute stress disorder, which is much more immediate and lasts less than a month. We also have adjustment disorder. There are dissociative disorders. So people react to chronic stress and traumatic events differently. And in this movie, they focuses on both the rookie and the experienced paramedics and how they both react to these traumatic events. Now, the more experienced paramedics, played by Sean Penn, is sort of reached to a level where he's numb. And at a certain point, they start to discuss that these people, after going through these and responding to these emergencies, they become numb. And at the same time, they feel like they have so much control in their hands that they could make a decision whether or not they want to save someone. I mean, basically, as a paramedic, you want to save everyone. But then that moral question comes in. Do I want to save someone, for example, who is known to have dementia, chronic medical illnesses, severe pneumonia, and is probably, if he will survive the emergency, he would live crippled in a very bad condition. Is it worth saving him for the individual himself? And that's why sometimes there's a rule which is called DNR, do not resuscitate. So in certain individuals that have very chronic medical conditions, a DNR policy could come in. And so that's where in the movie they depict this seasoned and experienced paramedic as someone who is numb and is willing to take that extra step and bargain whether or not he wants to save someone. On the other hand, we have the rookie paramedic who just came, he is eager to save everyone, and how they both can have conflicting opinions. At the same time, the rookie, played by Ty Sheridan, is trying also to cope with his new job, the way he responds to emergencies. At the beginning, we see him freezing, and he couldn't really act and react quickly to certain emergencies. And then he learns how to overcome that with, of course, the direction and guidance of his mentor and experienced paramedic. And then later we see that he starts to suffer as well. He starts to lose control of himself at times. He becomes easily angry. He becomes aggressive. So again, I like that about the movie, the way it shows us how a human being can react towards chronic traumatic events and stress. As a movie, is it recommended? I have to say it's 2 hours long, 2 hours and 5 minutes long. It was enjoyable. I think I passed the first hour very quickly, but then it starts to lag a bit. The performances is what you expect from a seasoned actor like Sean Penn. He, of course, delivered what is expected of him. Ty Sheridan, again, the young actor, also I thought did very, very well in terms of performance and portraying that rookie who is trying to cope with these emergencies. I think the highlight of the movie is the city itself, New York. The way it's envisioned, the way it's seen in the movie, as I mentioned, very dark, very grim, really pulls you into that atmosphere, and you can sense the feeling of urgency and darkness and depression in that city. Story-wise, again, the beginning of the movie is all about them responding to different cases of emergencies. Sometimes people are thankful to them, other times they actually swearing at them and they didn't want to be actually saved, which is a bit strange, but it happens. The second half of the movie is where some twists happen and where the ethics comes in, and again, it was quite intriguing. But then probably the last half an hour I felt was very, very slow and not up to par. So when it comes to watching Asphalt City as a film, it depends on your taste. Some people would like it, others wouldn't. Again, I always look and pick the positives out of each film and like to analyze certain aspects of the characters, of the psychological aspects, and that's why I sort of enjoyed it. But I did feel like the last 20 minutes dragged. Usually the ending is the best part of any movie, but in this case, I felt it was a bit slow and it dragged. Till the next time.
We all work in the darkness. You don't gotta let it inside you.
You ain't got what it takes for this life here.